We need a trash thing.
So you can bring it closer if you want. But
that's the trash?
I think so.
You know what I thought that was?
What?
A humidifier.
Nigga.
Wait, how do you open this? Oh!
I'm happy I'm recording because I want y'all to know Asha think that I can afford a podcast studio with a humidifier.
If you look at the machine, that's exactly what that looks like. When you walked in, you didn't double take and be like, you know what?
No.
That could pass as a
No, I did not. I was like, oh, cool, there's trash in here.
That's how you know I gotta get out certain areas. Okay. Let's do this.
All right. Welcome, listeners, to yet another live episode of the Banquet Hall Podcast. A new location. We're actually recording this in a podcast studio with our own trash can / humidifier.
Stop me out, dog. Stop me out.
Hey, I said we gotta have fun with that.
I've been in Westwood a little too long.
Yeah, you have been in Westwood.
I'm not used to this.
It's all good. New listeners, if this is your first time checking out the podcast, make sure y'all tap in at Banquet Hall Pod on socials. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure y'all like and subscribe. I'm blessed to be joined by yet another one of my homies from a long time.
How long?
We gonna get there after the icebreaker because I know
Because we talk about this every time we see each other.
We gonna get to it, but another homie from middle school, Asha, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here. I'm so excited. I'm on the pod at the Banquet Hall with Kyler. Come on. I'm ecstatic. What do you mean?
You're gassing me up already.
I got to.
I feel it.
Talk your shit.
Hey, talk my shit. I feel it. I respect it. But as usual, I want to get this started with, I say as usual, and now I'm just not thinking, I don't think I did an icebreaker last episode I recorded.
Okay.
So that's a note to pass Kyler. You do better. But for today's icebreaker question, as you'll see throughout the episode, we have a secret treasure box below us that sometimes we'll reach in and we'll unearth a chip. Brand's not going to be named until they sponsor us, maybe not, but y'all know what chip this is. But it made me think of one of the icebreaker questions that we did a lot in undergrad. If you were any snack,
If I was any snack?
what snack would Asha be? And we're going to psychoanalyze it and everything.
What?
Use your imagination. It could be any snack.
It could be anything. Okay, what qualifies as a snack? Because I have my appetite is crazy. I'm just letting you know right now. Because I'm going to say something, you're going to be like, that's an entree. But it's like, not really.
Okay, now I'm curious. Give me the snack and then I'll let you know if it's a snack.
Okay, I would be, and this is kind of like my little stilo right now. I'd be a strawberry banana crepe with a drizzle of peanut butter on the top.
Okay. Strawberry banana crepe.
Mm-hmm.
That is an entree. I'll allow it as a snack.
It's a snack to me. It don't fill me up.
I just think that just the idea of making a crepe feels like more effort than just getting a snack.
You just gotta, get the wrist and then you wait.
You need a whole griddle.
You do. But that lets you know you put all that effort to get a beautiful triangular piece of the crepe, and then you put in whatever you like. You got versatility, you got range.
So you feel like you're a very versatile person?
Very.
What about the peanut butter drizzle? What's that about?
I just like peanut butter.
Okay.
People usually do Nutella, but I'm not a Nutella girly.
Okay.
Stomp me out. Don't hop on me, or jump me or nothing. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, extra protein.
Extra protein. I'm not gonna lie, I figured you're just gonna pick something with some extra protein, which we'll get into as we get to some of the later questions. Yeah, that's definitely not a snack, but I'm gonna allow it. We'll just say random food.
That just shows y'all who I am as a person. I'm gonna think outside of the box.
Hey, let's think outside the box.
Let's think outside the box.
So I will say, in the spirit of the exercise now, My snack is a filet mignon with a shrimp skewer and
Okay, you push the boundary. At least with a crepe, you can be borderline, but you said, nah, we going in. Give me a filet mignon. Give me a side. Do you want a glass of wine with that as well?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Tourist season. It's not tourist season, but we claiming the season.
You know what? You lucky I fuck with y'all heavy. I'm surrounded by a gang, y'all. I'm on your team, okay? I get it. My Venus is in y'all placement. I get it. Stability. I respect it.
Hey, I appreciate the respect. No, I was what is the Kyler snack? I feel like I need something that's like layered with like flavor.
I can see that.
I want to say, ooh, this isn't really, well, it's kind of snack-ish. I'm going to go with, I am the, what are they called? The Bean Boozled. I am Bean Boozled.
You Bean Boozled?
Yes, because depending on who you are, sometimes you're going to get like the version of me that you're going to like. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get the version of me like, ooh, I don't really like that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird, kind of crazy. Because I feel like I have a personality that once you really get to know me, like, you're like, oh, that's Kyler, that's Grandma, yeah. That's Taurus.
Yeah.
But then some people, when they don't really know me, it's like, oh, he's standoffish.
That's why I like y'all, because I'm, as a Gemini, we're really curious. I'm curious enough to be like, you know what? He not really like that for real. Let me go under the surface. Let me be around long enough just to be like, oh yeah, he's a goof. We're good.
Not a goof.
Yeah.
Just call me a goof on the podcast.
It's fun. It's not a bad thing. You have a sense of humor.
I hope y'all see the look on my face. I'm about to get up and zoom into my face myself.
You have a sense of humor. That's all that matters. I've met people with no sense of humor. I've met people who's forced the sense of humor, and it's like, you're making me really uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable, you know.
But I think that's a good transition to get back to conversation about how we met. So
absolutely. We'll
get into your first memories of me in a second, but we met in middle school.
Yes.
I came to Maria Regina and prepared for it. 2005.
2005?
19 years ago, I started at Maria Regina.
That sounds about right. 2005.
Which means we've almost been friends for 20 years.
Jesus Christ. Damn.
Just let that sit for a second. 20 years.
We're gonna have to let that simmer. Because I'm not even gonna hold you, like, now that I think about it, because you came in 2005, I gotta tie in the people that I've known longer than that. So, like, for instance, not to hop off topic, but the homie hit me up over the weekend and was like, sent me a whole paragraph. Like, I'm drunk right now, but I just want to let you know I appreciate you, big dog, for being around me since the first grade, cuz, and I woke up the next morning, I was like, oh, that was nice. You know, like, when you drunk, I guess that's when the truth come out. And I hit him up, like, it's all good, like, da-da-da. He said, dang, I must have been really drunk. I'm like, bro, I appreciated the sentiment. Like, see, don't double it down.
My issue is, as a poet, I want to send that text 12 p.m. completely sober. I just be randomly thinking about my friends.
I respect it.
Like, man, like, I'm going to be 100% authentic. Sneak review.
Just keep it authentic.
Keep it authentic. There's times where I've drafted the text message like, nah, I'm doing too much.
I've done that too. I've done it too.
Because I'll literally just be thinking this, I'm like, dang, like, man, I just really appreciate you. We've been good friends for so long. And really just on some, like, straight, I love you, dog, type shit. But I'm like, you know what? They about to look at this phone while they at work. Like,
right, okay.
They be like, are you drunk right now? Like, nah, honestly, I'm the most sober I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate you. Sometimes you got to do that. Not too much, though, because people take advantage.
Not too much, though.
Yeah.
But going back 19 years, 2005, fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
What are your first memories of young Kyler?
You were a stone cold. When I tell y'all, I ain't never met a kid that had just a blank, he just rolled up on campus and it was just like, looking at everybody, you all are beneath me. Then he kept getting honor roll. We were like, oh shit, ain't nobody to fuck with for real. Like, he'll walk down the aisle, get his reward, and look at everybody like, yeah. sneaknesses were crazy. Because it's like, you didn't really talk much for real. But like when you did, it was like, Kyler.
Dang.
Damn. Okay. He's not lying.
This was 9-year-old me.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. We were 9?
Yeah. 2005, I was 9.
Damn.
Because I'm a year younger than y'all.
That's right. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
You skipped a grade.
I did.
I envy you. My sister also skipped a grade.
But that's crazy that that's your first impression of me.
Yeah, like you was just like.
Because from my end, I was this nervous, like, new kid coming into Maria Regina.
You would have never thought you were nervous.
I was nervous as hell.
I was like, oh my god.
Because a lot of y'all have been there since like kindergarten, first grade.
Yeah.
I'm a kid. And I'm like, oh, y'all already have y'all established friendships.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just figure it out.
Yeah, that's all you really gotta do. But I feel like now thinking about it, you probably just was like just reading the room for real, just like grasping it all in. Cause I do that now. Like I be around places and people like, why are you so quiet? I'm like, shh. Like I'm observing. Like don't mess up the analytical stuff that's going on. Like I peep stuff and keep it G. But I understand it now. But at first it was like, can I go talk to him?
That's so crazy. Because I was like, hey, can I talk to everybody? Like, who can I be friends with?
Yeah.
And I remember my first ever friend in Maria Regina was Alexis Davis, because she was like one of the first people that
She's dope.
talked to. She is really dope. She was one of the first people that talked to me. Andre Davile was another person who was one of the first people that talked to me.
Very talented, artistic person.
Very artistic.
Yeah.
But those are like the people. And then I think, I don't know, I felt like I was earning y'all respect. It sounds like a real like hood movie right now. But I feel like I was this new kid.
To jump off the wood.
Cause I mean, for those of y'all who don't know, Maria Regina, a black ass school.
It's a black. It's a very cultured school. We had a melting pot of things, but it was a very cultured campus.
A melting pot of what? Black?
We had black kids. We had Filipino kids.
One.
We had Latino kids.
Okay, 2 Latino kids.
And then when Emerald popped up, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is new. Cause I remember the day like he came in, it was him and James, and everybody was like, so what's your background? Cause we're kids, so we're ignorant or whatever. A few kids call him Mexican. He's like, I'm not Mexican. He's like, I'm Tongan. And we're like, what is that?
We lucky he didn't beat our ass.
No, for real. That's my dog for real.
Hey,
I love Emerald.
Shout out to Emerald Fale Twinkle Pie.
Every time when I saw him at our 10-year anniversary, he's like the only Maria Regina kid there. And I was so happy to see him. I was like,
such a good dude.
He's such a great guy. Like him and his siblings are so freaking awesome. But then when she got to Sarah, it was like, oh, okay. I said, I'm cool with this. I had a homegirl. She was like my play mom. She did not play around with me. Like, shout out to Loie for real. Like, she really protected me for real.
Shout out to the play moms.
No, for real.
But yeah, I felt like I had to earn people's respect. And I think that I was already a smart kid coming into Maria Regina, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think that once people saw like that smart kid in action, that's when y'all like, oh, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, because at some point it kind of got intimidating a little bit. It was just like, oh, he not playing. Like, he bombing all the projects, all the tests.
And I remember, because for a while we had like the sheet that had like the top kids in each grade or whatever with the GPAs. And I remember, I think it was Sandra or Joelle that came up to me because first time at Regina, I'm at the top of the list. They talked to their parents. They're like, you need to be friends with him. Like, he's top of the list.
No, seriously. Like, no, for real. Like, hey, can you... I was never really that type anyway. Like, I had to figure it out on my own. I had to, like, really pull it through the mud for real. Shout out to my parents giving me that concept. But then it gets to a point now as an adult, it can go overboard. And people are like, you need to ask for help. And I'm like, what is that? Like, because like if I figure it out on my own first, I don't ask for help often. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, okay, so how do I ask without sounding soft? Shout out to my parents, but they raised us kind of a little different. Like, you're a little rough. Like, Maya, like I said, that's Debo.
I I know Debo watching this. Shout out to Debo.
Shout out to Debo for real.
And just for the listeners, it's real crazy that she calls her sister Debo because permanently in my head, her sister is this little kindergartner with barrettes in her hair. So when I found out that you called her Debo, I'm like Debo. But then I see the videos and I'm like, oh, she Debo.
Yeah, and it's funny because people gave the same description about her, like, where are the barrettes? It's the barrettes. It's like, y'all just remember barrettes with this girl? It's like, dang. But as she got older, and then, like, not a lot of people, I only had like a certain amount of people come around my inner circle, but then when they saw my sister, especially when she got her growth spurt, she's taller than me, like, she grown. And they look and they're like, what? They don't understand it. And I'm like, yeah, that's Maya. Like,
Maya Debo.
Maya Debo for real. And then I got my brothers. It's like, oh my God.
Which is also wild because I'm just like, they're just,
yeah.
Time just flies.
It flies very, very fast.
And so we had middle school together. High school, we went our separate ways.
We did.
97% of y'all went to Sarah.
We did, because that was, honestly, we automatically thought it was the next up.
Yeah.
Like, it's right there.
And I was so like anti that I was like, nah, I'm going to Torrance. I'm going to Bishop.
It's a leader. It's a leader.
Not a leader.
You want to call that Taurus? You call it leader.
You're
gonna leader.
You're going to stop putting my head up on this podcast. Trying to be humble. All right. But I want to fast forward to what is your story about how we reconnected?
Oh, shit.
Because obviously we had high school, we would be at the football game together sometimes. But then I went out to college at UCSD, you stayed local in the LA area. What's your story about how we reconnected? Do you remember? Because I know exactly how it happened.
Really? I feel bad because I can't remember right now. I know for a fact, definitely after undergrad.
Yeah, it was after undergrad. Fairly recent.
Was it before my birthday?
It was before your birthday for sure.
Before the invite? Way before that?
Way before the invite. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be like,
yeah, just tell me. My head about to hurt.
So I don't remember if you tweeted it or what, but you had put something on somewhere where you were like, oh, somebody roll with me to downtown LA to the.
Yes, that's right. Shout out to him. He a real one for real. Just do a quick up and down and back.
Just hella random. I was just like, I hadn't seen you in years.
Yeah.
When I saw the tweet, it was like, oh, what ride me to downtown LA real quick. I'm like, well, I ain't doing shit. Like,
Shit, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Boom.
And I was like, oh yeah, pull up. So you picked me up from my grandma's house. We drove to downtown LA, went to the jewelry store, and yeah, that was the first time we had seen each other in years.
Yeah, that was a really long time. Wow, that's right. Absolutely. That's why we're here.
This is why we're here.
This is why we're here. Dang. You literally awakened, because I be having memories in the back of my head, but they be in the back room, in like the conference room, where you gotta go into the files. You're like the second file that like, you just was like, remember that? Oh, that's right.
Hey,
like it's there.
That's what I do.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what that was. Yeah, you were a real one for like just rolling with me over there, because I really didn't want to go there by myself.
And I think that's why I even did, because like when I see people, because LA is so big.
It's so
we
big.
don't even go to downtown LA unless we have to.
Right.
So once I saw like, oh, trying to roll me, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to roll to downtown LA by myself.
Facts. No,
so it's just
real.
nice to reconnect, do our thing. I see you eyeing the snacks. You can go ahead, dig in. We at home here at the Banquet Hall. It's not a banquet if there's not food.
I just want to make sure I don't want to distract you in the middle of your talking.
No, you'll never distract me. I'm a professional. Crack open the watermelon. Let's get it cracked.
Say less.
Because we gotta have snacks on the podcast. I hit up Asha before we came here, and I was like, what kind of snacks you want? Because we're gonna be in here a couple hours recording. Might as well have some snacks, some nourishment.
That's right.
But yeah, so I'm gonna wait on the watermelon.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna get distracted if the watermelon tastes too good.
See?
No, you're not gonna distract me. I can distract myself. It's different.
Okay.
But my question for you, and I can talk a little bit while you chew your watermelon, so you have time. Because we just talked about 19 years ago going to Maria Regina, reconnected for the first time 2 years ago-ish. What was it like, or what are your thoughts like seeing Kyler of 2022, the 2020s, versus like the Kyler that you knew growing up? Like, what was the energy like? What was your thoughts on that?
I just feel like now compared to as a kid, we're like more open and interactive with each other
Absolutely.
in conversation and just hanging out. Cause mind you, we've been connected through high school through our mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have Taylor. Strong.
Shout out to
She's a
919.
beautiful human being. So at the end of the day, it was just like we were around, but we never had the opportunity to really sit and have a talk and share different ideas and perspectives and stuff like that. So I just feel like just interacting with each other more, because I'm sure when we were younger, we had different groups of people we were hanging out with. So that gives us more chances now as adults to really sit down and just be like, pick your brain for a little bit. Let me just see what's in Kyler's brain,
And I show exact energy around it too.
Honestly, Lord, for real, like, let me see what you think about this. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't think no different. It's like, okay, like, we all went to school, have a master's degree, like, oh my God, like, it's proud, like, releasing books, poetry.
Told you to stop poking my head.
I have to acknowledge the wins. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna acknowledge your wins at the end of the day.
Hey.
Sometimes it's kind of hard.
I feel that.
You know.
Ashe, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta throw a little cornballness in.
Right there, in the middle.
Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
But so we went to the jewelry store. That was our first time reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met to talk about a podcast, which we'll get back to in a second. But I want to fast forward to June 2024, Gemini season. You invited me to your birthday, which can I say I was very honored. I was just like, oh, shit, I get invited to the birthday? I don't get invited to shit, so I'm like, okay. Like, we going to Palm Desert. First thing I was like, it's going to be hot in a month.
Hot. It was so hot. It was so hot. And you brought it up too, I made the grave mistake. Usually I plan out my hairstyles in advance. I wasn't thinking about not getting, like, my whole thing was this. I had a whole rotation. Earlier in the year, I already went braids back to back low key. So it was kind of like, you know what? I need something new. I need to get out of the braids. Slap a weave on me. Like, I haven't had a sew in so long. Like, love it. Wasn't thinking about what time of the year it was about to be. But, granted, my birthday is like at the top of June.
Mm-hmm.
So usually we have June gloom. So I was thinking like, we gonna be straight.
In the desert though.
Man, we drove so far east. It was like, oh, the temperature is
Just
rising.
rising.
Okay, that went from 80. Okay, back to 110.
Up to like 120 or something.
I wore my scarf the whole time I was out there. My edges didn't have a chance. Didn't have a chance.
Because as soon as I saw the pool, I was like, wait, Asha, why'd you get your...
I had a bonnet, I had a scarf, a do-rag, and a bonnet on in the pool. I would relax in the pool, but I have this. So it's kind of like, okay, we gotta be a little smart. My head is like literally above the water. My bonnet is velvet, so if you get it wet, it's like, oh, like we gotta go wash it.
And Asha's short, so you have to do the little short person bounce.
Literally. Literally, just acting like I'm floating when I really can't. Like, it's just like chilling. But I made it work.
That was such a great trip, and the goal of the trip, you really wanted yourself, all your friends to relax.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was, so going back to the invitation, I said yes, and I had to hit her with the who all going, just out of curiosity.
Of course.
I wanted to know who was going to be there. Saw this, I was like, cool, whatever. I know of a lot of these people, know some of them, so it's going to be a good time. We get there, I'm the only dude there.
That wasn't the plan.
I know it wasn't the plan, but
wasn't the plan.
I literally asked him like 3 or 4 times, like, I will leave if you like, I don't want to interrupt y'all girls trip. But I got to be a homegirl for the weekend.
You did.
And let the listener know, did I pass the homegirl test?
You sure did. Absolutely. You leveled everybody out. Everybody was having a good time, and Kyler was just like, getting footage. Here you go. Like, you're just water. It's a shot o'clock. You were instigating the shot o'clock. I'm chilling. Oh, it's a shot o'clock. He would just literally just walk in, no expression. Oh, so you saying we about to drink again? It's like, I'm getting snacks, but since you pressed me, now I have to take a shot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How dare you?
Don't die on the podcast.
Listen, that'd be tragic.
You spill something on the Yeezys? That's what you said.
I could have sworn these were Cortezes.
Imagine you had on Yeezys underneath the table.
Crazy.
But I think that, especially once I saw I was the only guy there, that was something that was important to me, was just to make sure that, because dudes are weird. Like, we can say that. Dudes are very weird. I'm around your friends. A lot of them I'm meeting for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to make sure it was like, cool, I want to make sure y'all good, y'all comfortable. Because y'all on your trip with your girls.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of y'all, like, there's plans for other dudes to be there. But I just want to make sure, like, I'm not about to be one of them dudes sitting poolside, oh, what's your name, what's your number?
Oh, yeah, no, not at all.
Y'all don't have to kick me out.
Right.
But it's just like we chilling, and I really felt like part of the squad. I was like, okay, like
no,
I made
like,
new friends.
I'm everywhere I go and every person I interact with, I want to make sure everybody feels comfortable with each other. Typically, if I feel like people are not gonna get along, I don't bring people in the same space. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like after the trip, like they loved you. They were like, oh, Kyler's cool. Like, you know, future outings we planned. They're like, oh yeah, shoot the invite to Kyler. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I ain't been outside in a bit. I'm trying to get my hustle and bustle on, y'all. We almost there. But yeah, like everybody dig you, man. Like you cool. Like I'm telling people, like we bring cool people around. They like them, so shoot. Just as long as y'all don't start scrapping, I'm straight. Don't bring me in.
Start scrapping is wild. Although Asha did scrap with a kid while we was out there.
I did. We had to hash it out. Love the kid though. That's my nephew. Love him.
Shout out to little homie.
He was pressing me for real, and I was like, okay, if you really want it. He beat me down though. He threw me on the couch and said, oh!
And mind you, this kid is like this tall.
Bro, like 3 years old.
3 years old.
I swear to God, and everybody like, get him! Get her! And I'm like, oh, stop pulling hair! Stop!
Such a good weekend though. Nice and relaxing, a lot of great vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Asha said, I caught a lot of footage too, which will be released at a later date, just to showcase a lot of the fun that we're having in those moments, because wanted to make sure we was all living in the moment, but also just being able to look back at those moments.
Yeah.
And you have some secret birthday messages in there too that you don't even know about yet.
Word?
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
Not a little nervous.
I'm a little nervous.
But yeah, definitely just one of my favorite vacations. I think Alex even said in one of the videos, like it's like a core memory. Because it's just like you're with a group of great people, everybody's vibing, having a good time, and just not worried about anything. There's so much going on in the world, so sometimes it's nice to just
I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourself, because I was a little scared. I'm like, maybe they're bored. Maybe we're not doing
literally
it.
Every 3 minutes, Kyler, you good? You relaxed? You know you my Taurus here, so you grounded, right? Gotta make sure you relax.
I gotta have your back just in case something go down, man. Understand? Because if you not relaxed, all hell gonna break. Listen, we gonna talk about it later, but I'm gonna give you my roundup of Tauruses, and I understand
Oh shit.
when shit's not stable, all hell break. We will talk about that later, because I can break it down for you.
Hey, y'all heard it here first. I feel kind of threatened. I'm not sure how it's gonna go. I'm gonna break it down for you.
You break it down.
It sounded like what Kendrick was saying to Drake in that. I'm gonna break it down.
Break it down. I'm gonna let you know right now.
Let me
Absolutely.
know right now.
Mm-hmm.
But so just wanted to paint a picture to the listeners, introducing you to the podcast feed of who you are. What can you say about Asha today? Like obviously you've had a lot of life experiences, different internships, different academic programs, your fitness journey. Just, you don't have to get all deep into the details if you don't want to. But what is Asha up to today?
Well, right now I'm just literally just trying to like build or complete my foundation. That's all it's really about. I've had time to really try to figure things out. As I mentioned earlier, I've known to just try to figure it out. So right now I'm just really hustling just to get in the best place that works for me, because there are a lot of things that I know that I'm meant to accomplish. So, and you know, I have a big family, and we we've had like connection periods of like what's next in the plans. Like I'm gonna get to see my cousin, who's typically like an older brother to me because he's really close in age with me and my sister. He's gonna get married, you know what I'm saying? Like seeing things like that. And my friends who are, you know, I have a handful of them who are either distant or like close I see on a regular. You know, they're having their kids, they're like, oh, this is Auntie so. I'm like, so like stuff like that. Cause even, you know, nephew, he keep hitting up Alex like, you wanna go to TT Asha's house with the pool? And I'm like, I'm trying to get you that house, man. Like for real, that's really where it's at right now. So
I think that was your house.
He thought that was my house.
Oh, he thought you was balling.
He thought.
Because the Airbnb was nice.
You should saw my room.
Asha had the presidential suite.
I did. I could walk
private
out.
pool access.
Swear to God, can't tell me nothing. The bathroom was immaculate. Like, oh my God. But, you know, stuff like that, like just establishing my foundation and just, you know, just trying to stay the course. I have to just take this moment to be, I'm proud of myself right now. Typically it's hard to say that for myself because I can get really tied into the stress and then the self-doubt. Like I can be very self-critical, like I mentioned earlier. I can be very analytical, but then when it's inward, it's crazy. So it's like when I look at things right now, or when I have people like you that are like, Asha, like you really have to just sit down and look of where you started and where you're at now. It's like, it's not over. It's just you in the thick of it. It's like, okay, but why does it have to feel like this?
That's real.
You know, like why does it have to be so stressful? Like why does it have to be so frustrating? But at the end of the day, like maybe it has to be that way for me to get there. So if anything, I'm just trying to remain optimistic. The optimism, I've done a better job with my optimism compared to the me maybe like in high school, especially in middle school. I tell people all the time, like the type of athlete I was very an ego-oriented athlete, very rather than like a logical skill. Because anytime I made a mistake, I'm inward, telling myself like, you know, you costed the team this, and why would you do that? Like stuff like that. But now, when I've had opportunities of coaching and teaching, I've seen people who had parts of me to where I had to step in and be like,
you saw that fire in them.
yeah, to where it's like, okay, like it's a full circle moment. Like there are so many things that I can't believe I'm telling other people to where I've been told. You know, like I've had a player on my team pre-COVID when I coached, and we got second place. But she's crying, like she is upset, but I had to like pull it to the side and be like, you did a phenomenal job. And the fact that you are reacting this way because of your mistakes, it just lets me know that you care. Now, typically we old school, we'll have coaches that are usually like all up in our grill, like, you know, suck it up or whatever. But I feel like that acknowledgement is very important, and you follow it up with like, maybe next time we can do this, this, and this. So I can really say, all that to say is like, compared to the me back then to what I am now, like, I'm like, okay, like this is cool. I'm like, okay, be a little chill, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not as fiery like I used to. Like I'm not barking as much as I used to. I used to talk a lot of crap.
You was barking?
Man,
like,
annoy me enough, I'm talking shit, and I will not shut up. Like I will annoy you like crazy. But yeah, I can be a loudmouth sometimes, but I'm not these days. I promise.
These days.
These days.
And see, this is why we're created in certain ways, because some of y'all don't went to Maria Regina though, but Asha used to play volleyball. She had a cannon in her right arm, cannon in the left arm. If I had that type of athletic ability at that age, I'd be barking too.
I was a jumper for real.
Because Asha would just fly, just like, just off of concrete.
Flying crazy.
Just start flying and just like, bam. And especially as a 9-year-old who's, like, y'all are probably the first volleyball players I've ever seen in my life. Because it's not like as an 8-7-year-old boy, like I'm watching volleyball like that.
Those girls can play. I came in a little late, but they can play.
They can play for sure. But y'all were the first volleyball players I ever seen, so y'all were Olympians. I'm like, oh my God, they're flying. You, Sade, Bria, spiking the ball hard as hell.
We had a solid coach.
Yeah.
Mr. Lowe. Shout out to
Mr. Lowe. Remember he used to call me Max Keebler?
Yeah.
He could not say he was Keeler.
That's another file in the archives you pulled out. That's crazy.
I don't know what it is about my memory, but I literally have the memory of an elephant. And it's just, we're dating ourselves a lot with this. Mr. Lowe was our computer teacher. Yeah. We used to go into a computer lab with these big ass computers and learn how to use them. Most of us wasn't even doing nothing on computers, but we have a lot of stories between us, and I'm sure the more we talk, the more these different memories will come out.
Of course.
But I just wanted to have this episode be a platform for people to introduce you, because transitioning a little bit, you and I met at a coffee shop and we discussed doing a podcast together. We did. Co-hosting a podcast. We met at your coffee shop. You got like 37 of the same drinks that day. What was the drink of choice? Do you remember? I know you remember.
37 is a crazy number. First of all, it was 2. First of all. Second of all, it was a raspberry hibiscus cooler
I want
with
y'all
raspberry syrup.
Did y'all see the pinky go?
Raspberry hibiscus cooler with raspberry syrup and a turkey and cheese breakfast croissant sandwich.
The croissants hit.
I had 2 of them too.
I think I did too. I can't cap on the croissants. But we met up and we discussed the idea of a podcast, keeping it authentic. So let our listeners know, why did you want to start a podcast? Why did you want to do a podcast with me?
I feel like we're people who really like expanding on ideas and going beneath the surface on a lot of things, like breaking stuff down. Because typically, it's like everybody and their mama got a podcast, but a lot of it is a very surface level, or it's kind of like fluff, if that makes sense. But not trying to like, shit on anybody or nothing. Like, freedom of speech, do what you want. But I just feel like as far as like a standpoint, we'll actually start talking about stuff that are very logical, very knowledgeable, especially being in spaces of different people and networking with different people, like certain episodes that you've had, especially like the mental health one that you recently just recapped on was really well, and just being able to get different perspectives from other people who think similarly to us, but also we can push the boundaries for other people to think outside the box, or even to try to, how do I put this, make their thinking processes a little bit cleaner, rather than all over the place, or just talk about certain topics that are interesting, or they may be shenanigans, but we can, like I said, we can break it down and be like, well, let's think about it like this, like, it's like, we got to bring everything together. And I feel like it's really important to where, people value authenticity, people value realness. And I've been around a good amount of people who can't take that. They would rather take the sugarcoat. I've had people be like, well, if you say this gonna hurt their feelings. I'd rather I put it like this. I tell people all the time, I respect you more when you be completely honest with me.
Yeah, we can clean it up later.
Exactly. When I find out that you lied, that's where the problem comes in. Because at the end of the day, I said you can literally be honest. I'm not scared of nobody but God. So whatever you tell me, it may hurt my feelings. I may be rubbed the wrong way. But if it's true, I can't be mad at it at the end of the day. I really can't be, because I might learn something from you, especially about myself. So I feel like it can literally just be a cycle of exchange that, we can have, or we can push towards people to hopefully build a better influence, to be honest with you, because I'll fall down the TikTok rabbit hole And it'll just be some random guy or some random woman just saying a bunch of nothing. It have like some sad music playing in the background, thinking they saying some real motivating. I'm like, shut up. That don't make no sense.
To scroll up it. Shut up.
You know a real woman. How do you know?
So is this the new like slam the phone close?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Crazy times are changing. It used to be, we can't do that no more. Shut up.
Go scroll the fuck out of this.
Yeah, like shut up. Not interested. Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, times are different. We have flip phones. If you don't know what that is, you a little too young watching this podcast.
Our razors and our side.
It's okay. Watch the podcast. You know what I'm saying? We might be a good influence.
We're for sure going to be a good influence.
Absolutely.
And I think you did a good job of kind of setting the stage for it. And I think keeping it authentic is such a great name for it because that's all we can really ask for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep it as authentic to us as we can. Sometimes we're going to say things that a lot of people agree with. Sometimes we might say some people disagree with. But
Absolutely.
The goal of it is to, like you said, to learn, to grow, and get perspective more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm definitely also going to be relying on the listeners to give their input, their feedback, and
I would love
let us know
that.
what they want to talk about too.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, pause this recording, open up your Instagram app, follow at keepinit.authentic, and that's keepin with no G, so KEEPINIT dot authentic.
Cultured. Keepin, not keeping. We keeping it.
Keeping it
Roll
authentic.
it, loosen it up while you keeping it authentic.
And it just matches with the K and the A. This is
Look.
beautiful marketing. I love it.
Beautiful marketing, honestly.
And so we're going to go ahead and record an episode of that in a bit. But to close out this kind of introduction to Asha, just a couple of additional questions I usually ask guests on the pod. First and foremost, what is your Zen spot? Where is a place or a set of circumstances, a vibe that you create where you feel like most at peace? It could be music, it could be location, it could be in your bed. Where's a place that brings you a lot of Zen that you want to share with the folks?
It's hard because I have a few, because I'm the type of person who likes range. But for starters, I would say like my mother's backyard, because figure I live there. Me and my sister, we're always in the backyard. Just that's our space. We're there to talk things out. We talk about a gang of stuff. I typically go back there to journal, listen to my music, pray. I need to verbalize my thoughts sometimes. So typically I'll wait for everybody to be asleep. And I'm not saying I'm going outside and yelling at the top of my lungs. That'd be crazy. But sometimes you just gotta verbalize these things because sometimes it can be a lot going on up in here. I just need to categorize everything, hear myself say it so I can see if they make sense to me. Another Zen space is any of my grandparents' houses. That's part of who I am, and those are the places where I was raised as well. So it's like, yes, with my parents, but like half of the time I was also with my grandparents. And I had grandparents that lived all over the county. Like I'm either in Compton, I'm either in Gardena, Inglewood, or I'm over there in Windsor Hills, kicking it with my grandparents, listening to them, what they have to say. Usually when I'm young, it's like, but now I'm like, they right. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a great grandfather who I had the honor of experiencing, seeing him touch 100 years old, and going back to, he had a sharp mind, man. He was a World War II vet, born and raised in Louisiana, brought his family out here to the West Coast. He was a barber. He was very well-rounded. He was active. He cut his own grass. He cut hair in the back. He harvested. He fixed things around the house. But he used to bully me and my sister, like, if you don't know how to tell time on a clock and do your times tables, you cannot succeed in life.
Hey.
But yeah, any of my grandparents' homes, and then any of like my I call people now, instead of like my friends, people who are in like my close circles, I call them my branches. Because at the end of the day, like they're gonna be part of my family tree, especially if I have homegirls and homies having their children call me auntie. That's really, really important. That's very serious. So I no longer call my close friends or my closest homegirls or my best friends that. I call them my branches. So, you know, if the homegirl wants something at her house, I'm there, it's peaceful, we vibing, it feels like home. Or for instance, like I have a really close branch that, you know, I'll go over to the crib, cook, you know what I'm saying? Watch a movie or something really chill and just talk about some things and exchange perspectives. Like I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I have nothing to worry about. So I would say that, and then until it's time for me to create my own space, I can't wait. Like I literally can't wait. It's just LA is so expensive.
Hey, it's expensive.
But we're gonna make it happen.
But we're gonna make it happen. Manifest that.
Period.
And then last but not least, where can people find you and how can people support you? Obviously, you have 3011 Instagram pages. But what are you up to on socials? How can people tap in with you?
You can tap in with me on Instagram. Like you said, I got 5011 of them.
Which one do you want the public to have access to?
Ooh, that's hard because sometimes I be like, I gotta get out for a little bit. I gotta go under a rock and then I'll be back. Well, you can find me at Ankh.2_. Ankh is ANKH. If you don't know what an Ankh is, it's the Egyptian symbol of life that resonates with my name. Asha is Swahili for life. So you can do that, or you can contact me on my other Instagram, the fitness one, the Asha Way. That's more public than anyone. The other one is kind of like private.
She gonna get you right. Sign up for the Asha Way.
I will try.
She gonna get you right. Try. Do or do not. There is no try.
Just be ready to work. I'm telling you, because my clientele is mainly women. Because I've trained a couple of guys, and they're like, and I'm like, damn, is it really that bad? I have one guy client, he's great, but you know, in the past it's like, you good, bro?
Asha standing over them like, man, this light, this the warm up.
This light work. Get big.
Get big is nice. But Asha, like I said, just wanted to make sure we at least had like a mini episode to introduce you to people, so when the Keeping It Authentic pod drops on the feed, they're not like, who the hell is this?
No, for real.
I want them to at least know because we're family here.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to get this podcast started because it reminds me of the sister podcast of the Banquet Hall, which is 4D Pod. Four of the homegirls who went to UCSD, they have this podcast where it's four friends who are not afraid to get deep with it. And
love that.
If y'all looking for a podcast, that's the one to tap in with. They talk about religion, they talk about finding your why, they talk about just navigating life, and they're not afraid to go to those depths and cry on the podcast, get emotional on the podcast. So anytime I have the opportunity to shout out the homegirls, definitely gonna shout out 4 Deep. And hopefully Keeping Authentic can give y'all some of those similar vibes over here. So
we gonna take it there.
We gonna take it there. Might cry, might not. We'll see.
Might be mad. Might get a little
Probably
irritated.
for sure gonna get a little irritated.
For sure.
But if you're wondering where to find the podcast, it's going to be on the same feed of the Banquet Hall. So as long as you're already subscribed, which if y'all are not at this point, I kind of take a little bit of offense to that. So go ahead, like, subscribe, follow the podcast at Banquet Hall Pod, leave a 5-star rating, and make sure y'all check out Keeping It Authentic. Asha, any last words for the listeners before we close out this episode?
I'm just excited. I'm excited how deep we gonna go.
Yeah,
it's about to get real interesting.
It's about to get real interesting.
I love that for us.
And can't wait to bring it to y'all. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the 4 Deep side, or not the 4 Deep side, I'm trying to steal y'all podcast. Jump over to Keeping It Authentic, and we'll see you on the flip side. Thanks, Asha.
Thank you for having me.
How did that feel?
That felt good.